From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. Welcome to this week's episode. I wanted to do something a little bit different today, and I wanted to break down what you actually get in the Gentle Business Program. I'm doing this because it's a conversation that I'm having really repetitively on alignment calls. And I know that a lot of you are a bit shy or a bit nervous, or you find jumping on a call with me really scary just because, it's kind of that leveling up feeling, that expansion feeling, and that can sometimes feel a little bit too much, or we can really get in our head about it. So I wanted to answer some of those really common questions here that you might not feel like you're able to ask yet, and just reiterate that you don't have to be in a certain place to jump on an alignment call with me. You don't need to have your business all set up to start coaching. In fact, that would be a terrible idea. We're going to redo a lot of things. We're going to rework a lot of things. So don't feel like you need to be in a certain place to jump on a call or to jump into coaching with me. Understand that I will, and I got some beautiful feedback this week. I will meet you exactly where you're at, and I am able to hold and work with people who are absolute beginners and who are doing $55,000 plus months and beyond. That being said, feel free to book in an alignment call with me whenever you feel the intuition, the ping, the hit to do it. I will pop a link in the show notes for you to access that. And I want to point you towards one other free resource that I have that people are really loving and I'm getting tons of great feedback on, which is my Gentle Consistency class. And this is a 20-minute free class. It is video, but you can just listen to it as an audio if you feel like, oh, I really don't want to sit at the computer for 20 minutes. I totally get it. You can plug in your headphones, walk around the house, whatever you need to do. It's just 20 minutes because I really wanted it to fit into your life and not feel like another thing that you have to add on to the to-do list. And there's no weird fake webinars. There's no sign up for a date in the future. There's nothing like that. You just can access it straight away via the link in the show notes. Lucky last thing before we get into really breaking down this Gentle Business Program is I actually do only have 2 spaces left for this year, and it won't reopen until February or March in 2025. I know a lot of you have been kind of thinking about it. You're talking to me in my DMs about it, and I just want to be really clear that there's only a couple of spaces left. It's really funny to me, and I do have a laugh about it. But I often get on calls with people and they'll be really shocked at how booked out I am. And then they'll kind of sign up and then try and beg their way into getting me to see them sooner. I am booked out that much, and I'm booked out that much for a reason, because I'm very, very good and it's very, very good work that we do. But these programs have always been available for you to sign up to. So a lot of people are already booking me for February and March next year. For later next year, you can book and sign up at any point in time. So don't feel like it's a rushed thing. And if you do want to get in soon, jump on that call sooner rather than putting it off. I will also reiterate to you that if you find a business coach and they can see you tomorrow, that is a red flag. All right, let's talk about the Gentle Business Program. I did want to break one thing down. I'm really talking about my programs and my offers today, and that's what this episode is. And it will be for some of you and it won't be for some of you. But even if you're not interested in working with me, it might be interesting for you to hear the things that you get from coaching and what we cover, because these are the things that are bare bones basics of what you need to be having in your business. I offer 2 major coaching programs, and they're both one-to-one. And I have a 10-week aligned business intensive and a 6-month gentle business program. And these containers function and operate in a really, really different way. And they're for different people who are at a different stage in their business. If you're feeling like really fired up, really passionate, really ready, and you want a ton of transformation, you want it really quickly, that's an intensive. The Gentle Business Program doesn't do that. By definition, it's slow, it's steady. It's for people who are very time poor or very low energy, or for whatever reason, they notice that they need to do things in like a much more incremental kind of way. And you have to come into this program with patience and knowing that it's not an intensive. I have had people in the past sign up for it expecting to get what they get from intensive, but cheaper. Don't go into it that way. That's not going to be beneficial for either of us. These two things function really differently. So if you're really gung-ho and ready, that's intensive. But if you're wanting to do things in a really subtle, gentle, careful, incremental, and relatively slow way, still massively fast tracking your business, probably not slow from your perspective, honestly, probably just slow from mine, the Gentle Business Program is for you. So both of these programs, all of my coaching, which honestly, from a marketing perspective, makes it a bit difficult for me, they're entirely individualized. I have a backbone or a structure of things that I want to make sure that we cover in each offer, but whether or not we can cover them all will depend on the goals that you come to the program with. If you have goals that, we really need to focus on just one thing for 3 sessions, we're probably going to get less of the standard things in, but I'm always working to try and cover all the standard things and also hit your goals. I ask you to come to the program with 1 to 3 major goals, and we do speak collaboratively about those goals so that you are focusing on the right thing, because sometimes we focus on the wrong thing and it's trying to hit a goal that's so far away that it's not actually going to make any difference, or focusing on the end goal when what we really need to do is focus on all of the little steps between here and there. We collaboratively make sure that those goals are right for you and right for this program. And then I use your goals to map out what we're going to cover in each session. We also spend some time at the very start of coaching looking at your highest personal values. And I have been doing this with people since 2018. So I've got a very proven structure for really truly finding your highest unique values, not just what you think you're supposed to say, a kind or a spiritual or a nice woman values. And then we use those to adjust what advice I give you. So I would never give you advice that is completely against your personal values. There might be times where if your personal value is that you just want to lie on your back all day and not do anything, I don't know if that's going to work out for you being a business owner, but say if your personal value is spaciousness, I would never suggest that you make a business where you're be on calls in order to make money, or having to be in the one city and the one place and having a brick and mortar, that kind of thing. Everything's entirely individualized to your goals, your needs, and your values. Now, I want to break down what most people will come out with. And this is that backbone that I'm talking about. Now, sometimes we don't have time to cover all of these things, and it's going to depend what you come with, what your goals are, and also how enmeshed you are in your business and how much you're going to come into coaching calls talking about your personal life. So I try to mitigate this as much as possible and make sure that when you come to a call, we're talking about your business. Like, that's what we're here to do. We're not here for therapy. We're not here to talk about your relationship. And you're wasting the precious energy and space that you carved out and you paid for to actually grow your business. The more that you bring personal stuff into this space, the less time we're going to have to tick these things off the list. Obviously, as a coach, I have to be compassionate with that. And I can't just say, shut up, let's get on with it. So it's a bit of a balance in allowing you to bring what you do bring and reminding you what we're here to do. Some of the things that most people come out with are having their goals ticked off. So I'm checking your goals. I'm looking at them every session and making sure that we're on track to them. And then we talk about them and check in with them about 3 times in the program to make sure, the start, mid, and the end, to make sure that you have them, and also to give me a bit of a rating as to how you feel about that particular goal. And it's really interesting because people often progress so much in coaching that achieving those goals at the end doesn't feel like that much, but those goals were so far out of people's realms of possibility when we started. People grow into the space that I create for them, and then they see so much more as possible. And those goals, like, yeah, we did them, they're done, like next thing kind of thing. And while that's beautiful to watch that acceleration, I do also want to note, just because you've expanded beyond that, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't celebrate those achievements. And I want to remind you that you do need to celebrate every achievement, because the reality is, when you have goals and you're intentional with your time and your energy and you're moving towards something, once you hit that goal, you will have already moved on. So if you're just constantly always moving on, you're never really stopping and seeing how far you've come. That aside, the goals ticked off. A couple of things this week that have come from the Gentle Business Program. I had one client come into the program wanting to get a 20% increase in website traffic. We got a 50% increase. Had another client had kind of a pie in the sky income goal of $60,000 in her first year in her business. And while I 100% believe she could make that, I think when we set that goal, that didn't feel super realistic to her. And now she's made it and she's not even second guessing. It's normal to her, which is what I mean by we grow to meet the goals and the possibilities that we set for ourselves. Lots of beautiful professionalizing the business. So from going to really hobby where everything's all the place, a bit of chaotic and a lot of room for human error, to everything beautifully streamlined, beautifully professional, cohesive, and that actually meaning that they're getting signed by incredible worldwide clients that you would know, or speaking to clients who are just so professional and communicative and clear and honest and friendly, which is what we all want. But when you're operating from a hobby perspective, I guarantee you people are going to be ghosting you. I guarantee you people are going to be saying they want to work with you and then never talking to you again if you're operating from a hobby perspective, because that's the energy that you're inviting in. But once you start to professionalize everything and up level everything, you all of a sudden start having these amazing conversations with these amazing people who are really willing and going to pay you, this particular client, $20,000 invoice, not a second, like not a glance at it. It just becomes normal when you increase your level of professionality. So those are some of the results this week. Everyone comes out with a marketing plan to increase their visibility, and a lot of people don't understand how little visibility they have. When you're running a business, you need to be everywhere that your ideal target market is, and they need to be able to find you everywhere, and it needs to be able to look cohesive. For instance, I've had multiple designer clients who have converted more clients just from consistently showing up on Pinterest. Yes, because Pinterest is where people are going when they're looking at design. Pinterest is where their ideal clients spend time, and Pinterest has way higher organic reach than Instagram. But also, people find you on Pinterest and they find you on Instagram, and it looks the same. And then they look at you on Instagram, and then 2 days later, they go on Pinterest and you pop up and they're reminded of you. They're going to go and chat with you, which has happened multiple times. But if you don't have that visibility, you're not having any of those opportunities. Another thing is sales skills, actually understanding how to sell, getting comfortable asking people for money, getting comfortable with calls to action, and even sales scripts for your DMs, your emails, and conversations that you're having with people. A sales-based content strategy that is really rooted in integrity. So a way for you to come up with content ideas that are going to sell your product, not just be fluff, not just be tips, not just be education, but actually make sales. And it's an infinitely duplicable content strategy that I teach you how to do it and I give you the skills, and then you can go on doing it forever. And we also do a business plan. For some people, they're like, business plan, like, I don't even know, what is that? The business plan that I do includes marketing basics, the things that you need to know, and the things that you need to be really clear and really confident on communicating to people. And niching down, getting incredibly specific on your niche. And I know some of you don't want to hear that, But I'll remind you, like in this day and age, unfortunately, we do have to niche down because that's how algorithms work. And if you have more than one interest, that's fine. Make more than one business. This business plan also includes understanding your business's values, the standards and the boundaries that are required to make the business feel good for you, in-depth target market research and branding research. So even if you're not in a position to pay someone to do your branding, you're going to be in the best spot from doing this business plan. And a really in-depth look at your product suite, your business model, and lead generation. So what I mean by that is, how is the business functioning? Is it making enough money? How are you going to get that money? How are you getting people who are interested in buying your services? We'll also take some time to look at how your business is supporting your values. And we'll also give you an aligned personal schedule that I personally make for you, so that you know exactly what you need to be doing in your business every single day, every day of the month, every month of the year. And often we'll also include a 12-month plan. So you come in with your goals, we meet your goals, and we do all of that other stuff if you're coming into the program with the business mindset ready to make shifts and make changes. I've kind of put this together as what most people need and what most people don't have in order to hit six figures in your business and beyond. That's the Gentle Business Program. There's 2 spaces left for this year. It doesn't reopen until March next year. If any of these things you're like, wow, I need that, wow, I don't have that, this is your opportunity. If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast a review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.